Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars Days Ruin Tiny Wars replay. So on the north side is the yellow Zhaotiantong. We got Nini. Gotta slow down and pronounce that. Spawn on the south side is the blue Will. We got GreyfieldGuy, who's not playing Greyfield. Will's course unchanged for the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 36 to 60. All units get plus 10 plus 10, direct ground units get plus 20% offense, and for a superpower, all of them get plus 2 additional movement. Howdy! Zhaotiantong is a custom seal. He gives you 90% rebate for his boarding, no radius, no expansion, no energy, and effectively that's what his gimmick is. You just get 90% rebate on loading a seal into a unit. Rather than costing something, you get a rebate. That's it. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport. It is a strong side, weak side mechanic, so you tend to be a bit more aggressive strong side. I don't think I really need to explain that all too much. Also a pair of compounds in the map, but it's on the weak side. However, don't really see them being captured all too often. It gets captured, probably the player's already lost the game. Of course, just infantry at the moment. Will has 4,000 funds, so he could go for a bike this turn. Yep, we got a bike. I've been replaying the Command & Conquer series, and I got a lot of terms stuck in my head, like, this bike's ready from the attack bike. Got another bike deployed in the field, this time for Zhaotiantong. Another pair of bikes and 1 more infantry. Triple infantry saves 3,000 funds, maybe eyeing for a tank next turn. Remember as well, he gets a rebate, so actually he will have plus 11,000 income, so you will have 14,000, so you could go for medium tank. Infantry, and we also got a rig. Ready to rig the game. Double tank and commits base skip. Yeah, I suppose 14,000 does make it. You can divide it by 2 to spend 7,000 each. He's probably going to CEO one of those tanks next turn. In fact, we're carrying that 7,000 value tank into a 700 value tank, while providing, of course, ZO benefits and maximum veteran ZO plus 20 plus 20. Does CO the tank here. Both sides kept the comm tower, artillery, rig, and tank. Decent amount of rigs in this game. You usually don't see rigs this too often, at least this early. Maybe GreyfieldGuy forgot that he's not playing Greyfield. Yeah. Tank, and infantry. Both sides getting a healthy number of tanks in the field. He does go for mech, and the rig is in position ready to pick up the mech. Tank bike. Does CO the tank over here. So we do have a contender. He may just push for the city. He'll be vulnerable in the city, but of course his day-to-day repairs. But even then, that would perhaps be cost-effective for Zhaotiantong because of the rebate he got. This thing's effectively 700 funds worth of value. So you can push forward to get a shot, and it will be cost-effective. But he may lose a bit of momentum spending time losing a tank. Right now he does have 19,000 on the field. Additionally, it will be donating energy to Will. Tank, mech, tank. And I already got a pretty good pun I'm thought of. Let's see if I can use it. Tank heading over to the east. Takes out the infantry unit there. Gets 8 energy. Does go for another pair of tanks and artillery unit. So got a healthy number of tanks on the field. Does get a first strike there. Does have better defense stars as well by 1. Takes the bike there. Hits the other bike as well. Will right now has 16 energy. A lot of targets in front of him, so he should be able to get a decent amount of energy. Mech there. That's going to pose a problem. Nothing range to strike it first. And looks like he's rotating down south to really hit these handful of units. And maybe we're going to do there's a pullback to the tank here. And this tank could be sacked because right now don't think it'd be worth it to fight here any longer. I think we better pull this tank back. Does push its way forward. That tank has 9% health, so can't use the bike to finish it off. But he's bringing more tanks there. Brings another tank as well. Maybe a battlecopter? Nope, over here. Yeah, I think battlecopter would be actually pretty good. Right now, he has quite a bit more presence up north. Just not necessarily engaging anything. Tank anti-air. And having Zhaotiantong not lose his tank here is both a good and bad thing. Now he can either build something expensive next turn and then CO it. He has 22,000, so he could go for a bomber. Will's command tank took a pretty big hit there. Had 26 energy. And the tank is actually trapped here. You can see there's a wall there. He may need to move his tank, I wouldn't say on top of where the comm tower is, in order to provide a good radius for power charge. But then again, he's pretty close to getting +1 radius. It does influence where he can put it. Gets a shot there, has +1 radius there. He could move his tank, actually now he can fully withdraw here. All the way over there. It's at, oh, he merged there. I was going to see what percentage of the health he had left. Tank Duster. He did go for a bomber. He's going to seal that bomber. Duster against a sealed bomber is a bit more of a soft counter than a hard counter. And tank, infantry, and bike. Bomber, advance way forward. Mech casting a bit of damage there. Tank on tank, 48 energy. 51 energy. Does take out that unit there. It's a good shot there. Right now, Will could deploy a superpower next turn, but don't think it would be a great idea at this moment. Not enough units to really utilize increased movement range. Anti-air, mech, battlecopter, and tank. Instead of 124,000 versus 94. Rotates around. There you go. He has access to a superpower. And if he wills it, he can utilize it next turn. And that was the horrible pun I was mentioning. Medium tank. Duster advancing. Tank flare? Flare. Don't see real use for a flare other than being a bit more armored than a recon. It is tracked though, so it may move better on grass. Takes off a number of units over there. Did he move that bomber too close? No. He did manage to stay out of range of the anti-air. With the superpower, he can plus some move range, so he can move here, just not here or nor there. He is adequate out of range of the anti-air. Artillery gets hit. Battlecopter, mech, medium tank, and tank. We're also going to get some ground up here, but there's not much left to capture some of those properties. Tank is tank. Looks like it's not going to be going for superpower this turn. Sacks the infantry unit there, takes out the infantry unit there, takes out the infantry unit there. Hits the tank there, finish it off, goes in range of the artillery. It's off a bike there. Anti-air, tank, and anti-air. That's a good hit there. Infantry hits infantry. Mech gonna be loaded up into 1 HP APC. I would not really trust that to transport. Comm Tower has 6 capture barges remaining. He could join capture, which is probably a good idea. Join up the 3 health one. I don't. Could range it. He may activate superpower next turn. Decides to finish off that unit there. Pops the superpower. And looks like the bomber was in range of the anti-air after the superpower. Flanks around, takes up the unit, captures up the comm tower. Takes out that tank there, hits the artillery. Good hits in the center. Another duster, tank, and mech. Anti-air goes down. Anti-air hits infantry. Bombs away. That bomb is sort of more or less just thrown away. It only cost him 2,000 funds. Nope, release the unit down south, or maybe it sacked itself, I'm not sure. Good number of mechs, so dusters will be useful against the battlecopters and the mechs. Another battlecopter, tank, and bike. Actually, got a good number of despicable neutral properties over here. 25,000 for 23,000. Will does have 2 central cities captured. Another anti-air. You could take out the bomber, or just leave it alone for the time frame. Tank, anti-air. Very healthy number of anti-airs. Does take out the artillery, hits the tank as well. Tank, anti-air. Quite a bit of units pushing way forward in the center here. It's for 154,000 versus 119. Tank, command tank will hit a tank. Trying to capture up a city down south. Duster will finish off the bomber. Tank hits anti-air. And which that's the only anti-air in the region, so this Duster has free reign of the barring the 2 health anti-air. Hits the tank there. Duster throws a shot into the unit there. Flare hits mech. Tank. Interrupts the capture up north. Does get some picks in the center. Will has 24 energy. And does go for another bomber there. Looks like it's going to be sealing another bomber. Bike, and mech. Another tank. Another tank. Will pushes forward his tank a little bit there. Takes out another tank. Anti-air takes out the mech. Tank goes for the medium tank. Gets a good shot there. Another tank falls on up. Hits it twice. Tank hits the artillery. Will's at 52 energy. Tank, 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 and battlecopter. Oh, I want to see the bomber CO'd. Makes some good hits there. Bomber does get CO'd. Giving also 39,000 to work with, so you could go for another bomber this turn. Battlecopter, anti-air, and medium tank. Will could deploy a superpower out this turn if he wills it. He has the superpower available, but right now he could wait till next turn. There's already a lot of targets in front of him he can make short work of. The rig may want to resupply the duster. Gets a number of good hits there. The rig could also pull out a temporary airport. All the stuff in front of him goes down. Will's keeping his CO unit nice and safe. Does hit a duster there. Maybe the two dusters can merge together. Be at full health max vet duster. But keeping them 7 or 11 health as opposed to 10 health could be quite nice to help deal with the bomber. Medium tank, mech, regular tank. He supplies the duster, takes out the mech there. 4 health duster takes out the rig. Now the superpower. Takes out the mech there. Anti-air heads to the bike. Tank hits tank. Duster will strike the bomber from the mountainside. They only did 3 points of damage. Certifies max veterancy with +10/+10 only did 3 damage. Sure, it's at 7 health, but still, I thought it would do a little bit more. Triple tanks. Hits the anti-air. Bomber strikes the rig. Now take 10 turns forward to blow out temporary airport. Or temporary seaport if so chooses. Rig goes down. Pretty good counterattack there by Zhaotiantong. He about has 1 turn of value ahead on the field at the moment. Whoever now has 26,000 income versus 24,000 income. So this property over here is still despicably neutral. And this one here as well. Duster hits the bomber once again. And Will goes for another duster. Guess his opponent needs a dust off. Which means medics, which is not entirely false. There's a bike there. I thought he would attack the mech. Did take out the mech with the command tank. Medium tank strikes medium tank. It's the anti there. A lot of good hits there by Will. He's almost up to another superpower if he wants to wills it in. And his CO tank could go down. There's a lot of pain nearby. Yep, goes down. He could CO a duster. Great counterattack there by Zhaotiantong. And Will is out of dusters, at least in the center of the map. You always take out the bomber with an anti-air, with that one's out of range. And we just got a good number of medium tanks being pulled down out from Zhaotiantong. Looks like Will's starting to fall back. Medium tank, bike, infantry, and another duster. Does it a tank up north? Both sides are falling back a little bit there, so there's quite a bit of no man's land in the center. Will Mage CO this medium tank over here. He's not re-CO'd a unit. The bomber is very far forward. I think he's just trying to get a sack. Decides to trap it. So the bomber is surrounded. Of course, we'll get some free shots on the tanks. You can either choose a tank on open plains or a tank on top of the city to bleed funds immediately or just get permanent damage to the front line. That looks like a shot there against the tank on the open ground. I suppose you could try bleeding the ammo dry off of a bomber, then you're forced to lead it. Battlecopter, tank, mech, and bike. Will's medium tank push forward. Well, now he can strike a full health tank on top of the city or strike a infantry in open ground. Probably better to strike the tank on the city. Zhaotiantong right now has 2 dust or anti-airs in the field, which he is fighting against 2 dusters, which may be adequate. Battlecopter, mech, and infantry. Will's pushing up north, gets a shot there. Of course, he says he has no energy there, so no +1 radius. Duster hits Battlecopter, will not strike the anti-air just yet. Yeah, so far it's been a very good game. It's hard to say who actually is going to pull ahead. They're still both pretty even. Compositionally, they're very different. Will has a good number of tanks, while Zhaotiantong has plenty of medium tanks and mechs. So Will's going to push up north. He did eliminate the bomber this time. Right now, and it's still pretty even as well. Day-to-day differences. One person pulls ahead, the other person then pulls ahead. So neither side has a clear advantage. Artillery gets a free shot there. Knocked out the tank there. Will's tank is in open ground, no defense stars where it's at, but at least has +35 defense from all other sources. What is the other CO most useful for getting fast money? In Days of Ruin? Granted, this is of course Tiny Wars, which is the web version of Days of Ruin, which does have custom COs they added in themselves. That would probably be either Zhaotiantong, which gives you rebate, or you get, what's her name? Judy, which provides you some refund upon attacking. If you're talking about this CO's name Zhaotiantong. It's a custom CO for Tiny Wars. And not necessarily fast money, just gives you rebates. Good damage there. Good number of hits there. Could possibly pop a superpower this turn. Pops a superpower, guess he wills it. Allows him to get a good strike up here. He can probably send an infantry unit to head up north. Capture some properties could be very nice. Down south, he's starting to capture some despicably neutral properties. And I think Will is starting to pull pretty far ahead here. A little bit, but they're drastically different in my opinion. Colin provides you increase your money by 50% for activating the power, while Zhaotiantong gives you a rebate on deploying your CO unit, which is drastically different. Also, he pays full price and his units are at full value as well. No reduction damage for discount. A lot of good hits across various tanks. Right now, Will's at 168, Zhaotiantong's at 142 with his day-to-day money. Since he also got that bomber sealed in, got a nice 18,000 fun rebate. If he has a good number of mechs here, mechs counter everything, but they get countered by everything. And they're pretty close in range. Tank, battlecopter, medium tank. And it goes for a temporary airport. But that may be just trying to boost this infantry unit forward, or this one. Will gets a good strike on that medium tank, puts it out of its misery, 10 energy. Takes out the battlecopter, Duster takes the 1 health battlecopter, finish off that anti-air, hits the battlecopter there, wounding it, takes out the mech there. Good shot there, +1 radius. Getting even more power charge going. I could have put the battlecopter there and use the regular tank there. Good hits there. And he already has enough for the superpower. The Will is not a CO you chain superpowers like this. This is just how this game just happened to be. Tank, anti-air, battlecopter. He's down to 120,000 for 174 across his day-to-day, so he's at 144-ish. Mechs get some good strikes there. This is the mechs in range of getting some good work done, but he did lose a number of them. Yeah, biggest difference, no lost attack damage. In Days of Ruin, none of the COs have negative effects. But looks like Zhaotiantong has resigned the Sand Grade, saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.